let's see. Just gonna go over a couple things today. One, market conditions. I'm sure a lot of people have been struggling this week. I have. I'm sure. No Neo's bitched a bit too about this week. Um, let's see. Let us take a look. So first thing, market conditions. We're not getting very many ranges. Let's zoom out on a couple charts. Let's zoom out on everything, actually, and take a look what we got, and we'll talk about some of the reasons for what you see happening and what you can do about it. Let's see. So how about I use some itchy charts because they pretty much show it very clearly. So if we look through the charts, here is cable, trend up and down. This is Euro USD. We're seeing large movements across the board. AUD USD, USD JPY. If you notice on all these charts, we're seeing no ranges. So trading access during this time is going to be useless, I guess. What you can do is switch over to the itchy format that I'm teaching. If you haven't seen it, there's a complete thread on BOD about it with several videos, and I've started updating them with the setups, or with all the indies, and the next one starts showing the setups. So you can trade itchy pullbacks. For instance, here, but there was no confluence on it. Here, but no confluence. I'm still doing confluence trading, guys, so I mean, we're not throwing that to the wind. That way you're using the same principle. Okay, so let's talk real briefly so you understand what's going on with the markets. Well, one, summer ended. That means all the banks, hedge funds, money makers basically are back. God damn, hold on. Sorry, headset wire was stuck. I couldn't move. Okay, so the banks, the money makers, all the big money is back in the game. So what we're seeing now is markets returning to normal volume. And, I mean, you could guess what's going on is they're placing a lot of orders, getting things in for their customers, getting the ball back up and moving since summer's over. The other thing we're seeing is the U.S. economy is improving. So that's also adding it in. People are having more confidence. Normally when the economy's weaker, people invest in crap like stocks, bonds, gold, shit like that. As the U.S. economy improves, you'll see people investing back in the stock market. So we will see larger movements. Honestly, over the last 4 to 5 years, the movements on the charts have gotten smaller and smaller. I don't know if this would show it, but let's take a look at something real quick. Let's go to, like, this is Euro USD monthly. It doesn't have yearly. I wish it did. That's not going to work, and I don't even have data far back enough to show you. Well, this goes back to 1999. If you look, the volume was 358,705, and let's bump up to now. We're in the 100,000, so we're getting 1/3 of the volume. It's just slowly, as the economy's been going down, so is the volume in the market, and we should see that start picking up after the lovely little incident with the U.S. economy. Now that things are looking better, we'll see bigger candles, more movement. It actually, in the long run, once things have settled down, will make binary options trading easier, because you will get, once a range forms, the size of the candles is going to be bigger, and you'll actually get 1 or 2 pip wins. So it is something to look forward to. It's just going to be weathering out the market, getting back to normal conditions. So hopefully that'll explain a little bit. If you're having problems trading TA, which you should, if we look at this, that's just ridiculous. It's crazy. It is just a straight downward move. It's very difficult to find a trade there. It's hard. Your best bet is doing a pullback trade. So while we've had 3 days of this now so far, or 4, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, this is Thursday? Yeah, we've had 4 days of this now. So I really, really would recommend jumping into the itchy thread, taking a look at it. I'll put a link to it there so you can take a look at it. I have in there an alert to tell you when to jump to the chart even, so you don't even have to guess. You just have to, just like TA, you get your alert, you jump to the chart, and you see if you can come up with a reason to trade. There are a few little differences in it, as in learning curve wise, where you'll need to look for things like, let me take a look. This one looks like a good one, and I'm not going to get too much into it today. I just wanted to explain a few things, and then we'll get on to the next part. But this aqua line, which should be purple, well, it's purple there, is Mr. Krabs or Kinginson, and this is Tenkinson Timmy. Let's go with Timmy. But if we're looking for a pullback and price isn't touching Kinginson, but it is riding Tenkinson, if the pullback occurs up to Tenkinson, then we can use that as the support and resist. But if Tenkinson's outside, like here, let's just pretend that's Tenkinson, and price is riding in the middle, we'd be looking for a pullback to Kinginson or Mr. Krabs. So just some brief ideas on what I'm working with on trying to teach people. Don't be afraid to ask, guys. You can get some good trades off this. When the markets are ranging and you got a mix of range and trending pairs, I've honestly doubled my trades using the system. It's very easy to learn. It's not that difficult, and if you use Confluence with it, you're going to hit probably 65, 75% using it. It's a great way to trade a trending market. So the next thing I want to talk about, and we'll talk more about that in Skype with the itchy trades. The next thing I want to talk about is, and let me zoom in one so you can see it, and let's focus down to the bottom of the chart. I've been talking about doing a dashboard. If you look in the top upper left first, up there you'll see is, it says AUDS, whatever, it says the chart name, and let me turn off the scroll so I can get it all black around it so you can see it a little better. Just so you know, like, that's an itchy alert right there. Itchy alert put AUD NZD. So price just pulled back to Kinginson. We got an M15 support, and it's about to hit a daily M3. So that would possibly be a good pullback trade and down. What worries me on it, just so you know, I'm sorry I'm jumping off subject, is it was riding Tenkinson all the way down, and it pulled back in Tenkinson, then dropped. This time it pulled back through Tenkinson, and it's popping through Mr. Krabs. So I might be a little bit leery on it, but I would go small with that. And then if it does pop upwards, I'd wait for the first pullback the other direction, and I would mark it as a I would turtle trade it. I'd do like my 1/3 money management system where, let's say my max is 20, I bet 5 on it this time and then 15 on it next time. Let me see if I can find something. I'll show you how I can keep track of that. Sorry I throw stuff in the middle, but okay, so what would I do? And this is rules on chart. It's something I posted up. And I would do last trade was a loss. Martingale next. And this is kind of how you can keep track. Writing on a piece of paper is pretty simple too. But since these charts have plenty of rooms, so I already have a note here. I can drop this down. It says last trade was a loss. Martingale next. So you can see it a little bit closer. I would have taken right there down, and we would be looking for price to move down. Low probability trade, nothing great about that setup, but I would have taken it right as it broke the M15. Same thing, I wait till the end of the candle to try and get best entry. Again, all I could find off of it was an M15, and on this side of it, it barely touched daily M3. So, nothing great there. It did push through, but it was riding at the 4-hour M2, which is right here. But we'll see where that goes. But while we're on this chart, let's take a look. So what I was discussing was down at the bottom is, well, I'm sorry, top left first. I forgot where I was. My bad. Let me pull this in. Good Lord, I'm making a mess. Let me make it bigger then, see if that'll do it. Trying to get it so you can see it clear. Okay, so up here, this is kind of gives you your statistics for the system that I'm looking at implementing with TA. it gives you signals up 55, signals down 22, total of 78 signals, win percentage was 61. Next thing it tells you is call percentage win was 60% and wins put was 63%. So it gives you an idea of about how the system is performing if it was being traded, I guess, like a robot with no human intervention at all, that you should just blind tradingly be able to maintain a 61% ratio on this chart. If we take into consideration then a few little rules, basically using confluence with the trades, we would see that these would have both been passes. Nothing really there to trade because rules weren't met. Not really getting into rules or anything what this is. I'm just showing you basically what we're working on. Down at the bottom is what we're looking at is a matrix. Page down. Your signals are given here. Well, not your signals, whether it's qualified or lined up. The first one, the top one, is the arrow that gives you a signal. If a signal is popped, you also have the option of having a vertical line show up and a arrow pop on the screen, which is right there. Let me get rid of one of the indicators so this is nice and clean. You can see everything I'm talking about. Delete. Okay, so here, and let's get rid of this. I was playing with that. Okay, so here we have is what it'll do, and let's make it completely clean. Okay, so as you can see, you get a vertical line if you want, with an arrow that pops up. This one's pretty simple for entry. If your entry is no longer valid, the arrow and the vertical line disappear, so you no longer have a valid entry. So entry-wise, it controls itself by telling you, look, you had an alert, you jumped to the chart. Unless you see this either an arrow or a vertical line there, you do not have an entry anymore. You may have got the alert, but whether you jump to the chart too late or you jump to the chart and as you're watching it waiting for your entry, then and price moves up and out, this will disappear. So entry control is going to be handled like that. Everything down here is you can use the settings on it to do it. The very bottom one right now is ADX filter. This is one of the first questions I have, and I'd like to get y'all's opinion on it. I'm going to replace ADX filter with value charts, or I can just still have value charts alert as normal, but they wouldn't be on the chart unless you want to add the full value chart on there. To be honest, the way I see this, and I think sometimes people get overzealous, the difference between value charts 8 overbought and value charts 12 overbought is oversold is oversold, overbought is overbought. Just like RSI, when it goes above 90, it can stay above 90 for 5 candles. So it really doesn't matter what the level is. It matters that it has breached and gone into oversold, overbought. So my logic or thinking behind this, and this is where I want to get y'all's opinion, is I'm going to toss the ADX filter and I have it replaced by value charts. What you would get is when it goes over 8 or whatever you set in it, so if you like 8, 7, 6, whatever the hell you want, the little dots here will light up red when conditions are met. So when it goes over 8, this would turn green. When it goes under 8, it will turn red. Pretty simple. It keeps value charts off there, combines everything into one for the matrix. Whatever we want to call it, dashboard. I don't like matrix because I know we're going to get some freaking jokes on that. And Neo probably will never have a day of peace if I name it the matrix. We'll take a look at the settings in the indicator real quick so you can see what we're working with as it is now. And then, like I said, what I'm working on. The first step, which I'm already working on today, and I might have a coder that says he can do it in like an hour, is the alerts are buggy. So I need to get the alerts fixed. Once the alerts are fixed, this is what the indicator looks like. Down here, ADX filter would get replaced with value charts. You can't see that on my chart, son of a bitch. It's just showing MetaTrader. Give me a second, let me switch. All right, that's better. Sorry, I had it set to show only MetaTrader, so it wasn't showing anything else. All right, so this is it here. As you see, it can draw vertical lines, draw arrows. Show time left on the chart, send an alert true. It can do emails if you're using it for a higher time frame, and write comment, which is the top left-hand corner. You can turn the comment off if you don't give a shit about that. Things you're familiar with. We use Bollinger Bands. Here's the Bollinger Bands. So it tells you them right up here. So I do prefer to have them on there because you can see squeezes, and it helps you a little bit with picking up on the trend. But if you don't like Bollinger Bands on there, you don't need them, because down at the bottom, the dashboard, I got to get in the habit of calling that, the dashboard will show you when your Bollinger Band levels are breached. They're the squares right here. So we had green square, that means Bollinger Band was breached. RSI's right here, stochastics here, and an optional stochastic that you can use is here too. The bottom one is the ADX filter, which, if depending on what y'all say, I have a couple options here. The ADX filter can get replaced with value charts, and all you would do is turn it to true to use value charts, and then you would set in your value charts levels, which would be 8 and -8. So that's what I'm looking at. Then from there, first step today, well, hopefully today or tomorrow, I'll get the alerts fixed. Once the alerts are fixed, based on your feedback, the ADX filter is useless. So it's either going to go or it's going to get replaced with value charts. You don't have to have value charts on the chart. Again, I know people like to have value charts. Some people like to have them on there, but for me, I could give two shits what the levels are. I just need to know overbought, oversold, and see how many times in a row it's been popping overbought, oversold, so I can say, well, Jesus, it popped 5 times in a row there. Or when I'm going back and look at history and I see value charts on a normal day, we have a ranging market, but it's double tapping, which means VC's hitting once, and then historically for the past 3 hours, it's not reversing on the first tap of value charts, it's reversing on the second one. By switching to the dashboard, it will enable me to clean up a lot of crap off the charts. I'm going for a cleaner look now that I've got a decent dashboard set up to use. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So basically, guys, that is it. What do you want to do with the dashboard? Do you want ADX gone completely because it is freaking useless? Or would you like to see value charts down there? Do you want value charts on the chart? Also, we can do that. I mean, there's no big deal. You always have the option of putting on there. What I'm looking at, though, is speeding up the indicator. I want it to run faster, especially when it gets ported over to MT5. So I'm going to have an MT4 version and an MT5 version of the complete system. Next thing is, there was something else. Now I'm forgetting. The second question I have for anyone, is there anything else y'all want to see on the charts or the dashboard that would assist you in making decisions on a trade? The biggest one I got is trend strength or a trend strength warning, because I guess some people are having difficulty seeing that. And I really can't think of anything else, but the biggest one for now, guys, and if you could, I'm going to post this to the forums. Answer me. Do you want ADX gone? Do you want value charts in the dashboard, or do you want value charts as it normally is on the chart? Everything else is pretty much being combined into the dashboard. Some of the things like RSI, I mean, this will be entirely up to you what you want on there, but I'm trying to clean things up and get the things into the dashboard, and then from there we can go into looking at the charts. God, I can't talk. Why am I not having anything? But anyway, guys, that is about it. No, this wasn't super informative. Hopefully the little market things are understandable, what's going on. As you can see, super shitty trend. Pullback trades would be advisable. If you don't know how to do them, hit me up. I'll take the time to sit down with you and walk you through a couple itchy setups, guys. All you have to do is ask. Don't just sit around and be like, Jesus Christ, I can't do this, and the trend's killing me, I can't trade. So if you need help, guys, ask. If you don't ask, I mean, it's kind of pointless to be in the room. But other than that, guys, have a good day. I am going to stop the broadcasting. I'm going to see if I can get back with this coder and get the alerts fixed, and then we'll go for there. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll post this up as soon as it is ready.